Welcome everybody to the semi-final between Kafka and Croissant Aubert. This is a semi-final of the Forge of Noobhammer Cup, and the other semi-final has already been played. Winner of this will face BBB Tolkas. And here's the build that is very familiar to me, which is a Dark Elf build Kafka is using with the 5 Dread Spears. One of them is the Hellebroni. These guys with their silver shields, they will do very well at absorbing that Modern Seaguard fire. Dark Rider's repeater crossbows. Could find some trouble here to find good targets with all these archers around and all the fast cavalry, but they should have good damage against the Star Dragon. Some Dark Riders with shields in the back here. These guys will have to, well, if they want to do any damage, they'll have to strike at the rear of units that are preferably already engaged. We have the Bolt Thrower, so the Dark Elves playing this defensively. We have 4 units of Cold One Knight, so 1 more cavalry, if we don't count Dark Riders with shields, on the side of the Dark Elves. And we also have Malekith, actually. Okay, that's a change he made. That's a change. Because Kafka, of course, practiced this matchup with me, and I play this a little bit differently, but he is a big believer in Malekith.
I thought this was the church of vampire Buddha.
And of course there's no argument to be made against Malekith. The only thing, guys, that I think is a little bit less good about Malekith in this matchup is he's probably going to be fighting close to where Alariel is. And so if you look at Alariel... No, she didn't bring her aura. Okay, but she does have the Tempest, which will do decent damage against Malekith. The Bolt Thrower is starting to fire. It was just the first automatic shot, I guess, killing 2 Spearmen there. It's something. Bolt Thrower now shifting targets onto the Lodden Seaguard. And yeah, what our friend Kafka has to do here is try to make this formation stop, as he's doing now, and then micro away from the archers, and then every time they stop to fire, he's basically gaining a little bit of time for his Reaper Bolt Thrower to fire. So yeah, I'll finish that thought I had earlier. If Alariel is giving magic damage to everything, then the physical resistance on Malekith doesn't count for much. But she doesn't have that. In fact, there is no magic damage here at all. Okay, so the Dread Spears are moving forward. Of course, you don't want to let these Lodden Seaguard in range of your Reaper Bolt Thrower. Looks like these guys might just be able to get in range. The shots, despite the silver shields, tearing into those Dread Spears. Kafka is going to react here quickly and send his Dread Spears forward into those Lodden Seaguard. The Lodden Seaguard will probably be kiting back. Oh, and one of them did get too close. He's firing on the Reaper Bolt Thrower now. That's a bad situation. Kafka, who is using it to target down the Star Dragon, some decent damage there already. Yeah, he has to do something about this Lodden Seaguard. These Hellebroni, they need to move forward, stop them from firing before he loses his Bolt Thrower. Losing the Bolt Thrower is a pretty big deal here. Okay, the Tempest comes in just as Malekith is about to use that Breath. The Breath does go down, but I mean, the damage didn't seem that incredible. And to have some friendly fire coming in there as well. The center sort of breaking there. Malekith currently under control. Cold One Knights have charged in on the Silver Helms and the Dragon Princes, but look, one of the spears is being sent over to support them. That's a fight that's not going to go too well for them, I guess. Here comes the cavalry. But yeah, this Lodden Seaguard is just killing the Bolt Thrower, and that's a 700 gold unit gone pretty much for free. So that's a shame. And yeah, this Breath attack also seemingly causing more friendly fire than anything else. Now Malekith is fighting in here, and this is kind of the fight that Dark Elves like. He's going to throw down Soul Stealer here. Yes, there we go. And now all the important targets, except for Alariel, because she was wisely kept out of there while the Soul Stealer was being cast. All the important targets are getting hit by the Soul Stealer. And this fight is really the most important fight. Alariel and all the cavalry against Malekith. Now, Alariel is taking damage, but of course she will have a lot of healing, and it looks like this engagement is actually being won by the High Elves. Although they're not benefiting completely from that Star of Avalon. The Star Dragon in a sort of V-claw movement here, this always happens to me as well, not remaining under the star. At least he didn't get it killed or routed while it was under there, like I always do. Yeah, these Dark Rider repeated crossbows. They've taken some damage. Lost some models, but most of the models are still there. And these guys have to get to work. They really do. Dark Riders over here have engaged a lot on Seaguard. They do decently if they can cycle charge them. But Kafka currently too busy microing elsewhere. Cycle charge with them properly. But the lot on Seaguard, they are in melee, and even though they're spearmen, even though they're a hybrid melee unit, it's still not ideal when they have so much ammo left. A lot of them are routing right now, and if he can keep his Dark Riders alive, and they're actually not routing, they're terrified. If he can rout them and keep his Dark Riders alive, the Dark Riders will be able to finish them off. That's where the value from those Dark Riders really comes in. Ooh, Alariel here, taking lots of damage, but this is the point in the battle, guys, where it looks alright for the Dark Elves because they have that murderous prowess going on. But if the battle goes on longer and Alariel gets healing and the Star Dragon gets healing, the healing eventually pulls through. So Kafka, he has to get his Dark Riders to work, and I like what he's doing here, prioritizing Alariel. I think if you have a choice between damaging Alariel or the Star Dragon, it's best to go for Alariel. Well, we're getting a little bit of lag, so thanks to that murderous prowess, it seems Kafka is stabilizing. Also in the center, his bolt thrower is coming back. That's going to be something that Croissant Aubert will have to devote some units and time to. Yeah, it's looking pretty close, but another Tempest comes in. And right now, it seems like Croissant Aubert wants to group his flying units, attack Malekith with them. And I think another Soul Stealer is coming. That might be a bit of a panic reaction, because ideally you want to use that when they're using the Star of Avalorn, so you can hit both of these units. And then they either have a choice to stay under the star and get hit by the Soul Stealer, or, you know, just take the damage, or avoid the damage but also not heal under the star. So yeah, you kind of counter that ability with the other one. But in this case he only hit Alariel, but maybe he felt like he needed the healing because Malekith was pretty low. And this Dark Rider kind of caught in combat. The Cold One Knight's now fighting the Star Dragon, but I think it's healthy enough to where it can actually kill them. And yeah, these archers, man, they're the bane of the existence of this poor bolt thrower. So we seem to be experiencing some lag. It's not super bad yet though. Another Star of Avalorn. Going to save that Star Dragon. Alariel probably wants to come over here and benefit from that healing as well, because that's what would win the High Elves the battle in an ideal High Elf world. And that's where you would want that Soul Stealer, guys. Punish those units as they're sort of gathering. I don't want to say blobbing up because it's only a few units, but as they're gathering underneath the star. And what's this? Is that a breath attack? Something was targeting Alariel. Ooh, careful with your Dark Riders, Kafka. Good pressure here from the Spearmen on those guys. And yeah, now they're both healing under the star, and that might be the nail in the coffin, guys, for the Dark Elves. They still have tools to deal with this, but the Lordan Seaguards are also stabilizing, so Malekith currently not looking healthy enough to deal with this. Although, if he can somehow remove these Lordan Seaguard, and his Dark Riders will have freedom to, you know, move, shoot, move, shoot, move, shoot, they should have the damage to deal with this, so this is still a very close fight. But the High Elves, they will want to get rid of this Reaper Bolt Thrower. And Alariel actually gets caught here, I think. Yes. That is dangerous. The breath does come in there. But now the Star Dragon has to engage. And now Malekith has to engage. And Malekith, if he just does one single charge here on Alariel, she's gone. And that should be the battle. Earthblood comes in. I mean, the healing just keeps coming, right? But yeah, that landing, I understand it. He wanted to pressure those Dark Riders, but there was a unit of Cold One Knights there, which you don't really want to land on. Now, Malekith. The Hive's on Alariel. Ooh. And she's dead. Yes. Some X-rated action there. Yeah, now Malekith is going to kill the Star Dragon as well. Maybe the situation was a little more dire for the High Elves than I was making it out to be. That's why they did that engagement. Although I still feel like if they move back towards their Lord and Seaguard and not engage there, they could take a better engagement. If you land your Lord and the other Lord is still in the air and he lands on you, that tends to hurt. Like if, I don't know how much a dragon weighs, probably like at least 5 tons, probably more. If that thing lands on you, it just goes splat. It's kind of what happened there. I like this build. I like Kafka's adaptation of my build. Using Malekith was very effective there, instead of what I use. But yeah, it worked out. That bolt thrower snipe early on was a good move by Chrysanto Bear. And got some good damage on the Dark Riders, but the Dark Riders didn't rout in the end, and Kafka kept them safe enough for them to do the damage they could. So while he maybe didn't get optimal use out of all of his units, like the Dark Riders could have cycle charged a little bit more, I think he played that really well. So Noobforlife, by the way, guys, who is in chat right now, is the organizer of this tournament. Much thanks to him for letting me cast this. Awesome guy. So here we have the Plutonians, always a good counter to the Dark Elves, I feel. It's at least an even matchup. He has the 2 Peasant Bowmen, fire arrows. There's the Holy Wardens of La Maison Tal. Will do very well if there's Witch Elves or something, which there might be. Men-at-Arms with shields and 2 regular Men-at-Arms. These guys have a little bit of experience. Then we have Knights of the Lion-Hearted with that magic damage. Very nice in case there's Doomfire Warlocks. And the Companions of Kenel, who are a unit that allegedly can take on any unit in the game. That's what I've been told. Damsel of Life is here with the Earthblood. Not Regrowth this time, but Awakening of the Wood. Also a good spell to use against lightly armored infantry, Doomfire Warlocks, that sort of thing. And here we have King Luanne, the big centerpiece of most Plutonian armies, with the Sword of Quran, huge AoE debuff, the Lion Shield, very useful as well. That missile resistance and magic resistance, both types of damage could definitely come his way. Stand Your Ground, Foe Seeker, going to keep him fresh. Beloved Son of Bretonia, so if his hit points fall below 50%, he's actually going to give a huge buff to the entire army. You can see it there. And then the Ladies Champion, self-regen, probably the strongest thing about him, to be honest. Apart from, of course, being on a Griffin and everything. And then we also have 2 units of Grail Knights. So opposing that is a very wide line of Dark Elves with a front line of Dread Spears, kind of all you need against Plutonian infantry, most of the time. A Scourge Runner Chariot, which for now is staying back. Some Cold One Knights, look to be going for these Peasant Mob, who I didn't even mention before. And yeah, they're going to get a charge here, trying to get rid of that chaff. 3 units of Dark Riders with repeated crossbows in the back. I think I've seen Falcon play exactly the same build as this at some point. A match he was playing in Cyphos, but it was very similar in any case. It's 2 units of Cold One Knights and Slaanesha's Harvesters on the flank here. Slaanesha's Harvester is very useful for helping out cavalry fights with that melee attack debuff, the AoE damage from the Soul Stealer that they have. Double Soul Stealer on a cav engagement is usually GG. Of course, Mr. Malekith also has a Soul Stealer. Ooh, I'm not sure if Kafka dodged that or if it was badly aimed, but I think he dodged that. Like he intentionally moved out of the way there. With that Gaze of Malice. The Grail Knights are coming in. 2 units here charging into those Cold One Knights, but that's what I'm talking about. Soul Stealer comes in. I would like to see an Earthblood here to counter that, because of course any model that drops you can no longer heal, and these Grail Knights are dropping a lot of models. Dropping a lot of models right now. Doing a good job, but they're also taking a lot of damage. Yeah, the Dark Rider repeated crossbow fire is coming in, but on this flank, Knights of the Lionhearted and the Companions of Kenel are actually cleaning up. And they're now going for Slaanesha's Harvesters. Knights of the Lionhearted, of course, would love that engagement. But it seems this flank is holding for the Dark Elves, and they're not taking that cav engagement just yet. Trying to finish off this cavalry first. regroup with their Dark Riders, and then go for a better cav engagement. But Kafka is making use of that time and saying, you know what, if you don't want to fight me, I'm just going to clean up your main line and create a lot of space for my cavalry. As you can see, guys, I was saying earlier, Red Spear is kind of all you need against Plutonian infantry, but they're still spearmen, they still lose against sword infantry. Okay, I like this Earthblood, healing a lot of troops here, even the Holy Wardens, who of course deserve to have that buff as well. But now, this is kind of the scary situation for me if I'm playing Bretonia. Malekith is probably going to throw down a Soul Stealer on all of this cavalry. Is it coming? I think it's coming. Well, it's not here yet, but it will probably be here in a while. And yeah, all these repeated crossbows, they're also firing into that cav engagement. So that cav engagement, despite the infantry support, right now seems to be going the way of the Dark Elves, although Luanne is doing a lot of work, and the Sword of Quran came in. Okay, that's actually a big deal. Tenacious Harvesters did take some magic damage there as well. But I think what Kafka needs to do here is take this unit of Peasant Mob and just start running after the Dark Riders. Ooh, nice Awakening of the Wood there. Probably not killing too many models, but definitely lowering the health of those Dark Riders, who are a very critical element. But yeah, here we go. The Soul Stealer hitting almost the entire Bretonian army, guys, and that's a situation you really do not want to see if you're Bretonia. Because the backlines have also been compromised, the archers are stabilizing, but how much can they really do? I think maybe they can do some damage on these harvesters, but Luanne currently fighting Malekith. He does have a lot of healing, but in just a straight 1v1, and it's not a straight 1v1, Luanne is not going to win that engagement. Right now the situation is looking dire. The Bretonians, due to those Soul Stealers, they are usually the deciding factor. Also the constant Dark Rider with repeated crossbow support coming in on those cav engagements. Those actually matter a lot. Yeah, right now, what do you do if you're Bretonia? I'd say try to split up the archers, get as much damage done as you can, and maybe go chase these Dark Riders with Luanne. And don't dive down on the Cold One Eyes, it seems like a bad idea. Oh, and his damsel got eaten. Well, that's really bad. And now Luanne is caught, huge damage there, and it seems we're seeing the death throes of Bretonia here, guys. Very quick, violent, savage battle. Both sides just rushing each other, and yeah, when that Soul Stealer came in, and when that Murderous Prowess came in, it really started changing things. Because Bretonia definitely had infantry engagement, infantry advantage at some point. Now you see Dark Elves have infantry advantage again, their Dread Spears just rallied. And they're actually pushing back this Bretonian infantry. Of course, this matchup not really about the infantry, but if you can take a cav engagement with infantry support, as it happened on the right flank, that's actually really good for you. Now don't underestimate Luanne though, he still has healing. He can still heal for quite a bit, but he has to... Oh, the Awakening of the Wood. Kinda missed there. Not sure what caused that. Oh, some Dark Rider repeated crossbow fire coming into the damsel, and Luanne is doing what he can, and he can actually do a lot. That was a good hit. And are they getting the Beloved Son of Bretonia buff? No, but if Luanne takes a little bit more damage here, guys. A little bit more damage. This has to fall below 50%. I know it's a very weird mechanic, but that's how it works. All of his units will suddenly receive a buff. He has to get out of here first. He doesn't want to stay and fight against Malekith and the Cold One Knights. That's a little bit of a tough situation for him. But it seems like he is able to get out. Griffin's still some of the most slippery flying units in the game. Yeah, this battle isn't over, guys, but Kafka really has to start using these Peasant Bowmen on the flank here. The fire arrows. That support fire could really put some pressure on the Dark Riders, kill a couple of them. They're all pretty low hit points right now, with a lot of models left. Like, look at these guys. It's 32 models. But only very little hit points, so a couple of volleys from the archers could do a lot there. Yeah, the infantry is getting cleaned up. Now there's nothing protecting these archers. So they'll be able to get a few volleys, but I don't think they'll be able to get the necessary damage done. Of course, Luanne is still healing. Has to dodge these volleys. Gets another good hit on Malekith. I'm not sure if Malekith is going to have another Soul Stealer in him, but as I say that, I think we might be seeing it. Yes, there's the Soul Stealer just as I say that. So 600 hit points for Malekith. Not sure exactly how much damage it deals to Luanne. Probably not a huge amount, but at this stage, that really matters. It's pretty much Luanne against the world. And he has no way of protecting his archers, who are the last unit he has on the field here. Help himself. And they are getting the beloved Son of Bretonia buff, but at this stage, what does it really do? Not much. Lifecaster should have died a while ago. That's what I always think. And then they come back and they heal a Star Dragon and you lose the game. In this case, the Dark Elves don't lose the game. Very close fight there, very good fight between these two players. Went really back and forth there. I think what it really comes down to was that engagement on the right flank where Grail Knights were taking a lot of fire from repeater crossbows. And also fighting up against Red Spears, which wasn't very effective. And taking damage from Malekith. If an Earthblood pops there, and if you save a bunch of these Grail Knights, you may have, you know, enough cavalry to win the cavalry engagement, or at least to, as you're fighting that cavalry engagement, chase these Dark Riders. Because they were able to do what they want, which wasn't ideal for Bretonia. I think these are really the MVPs. Apart from Malekith, of course. Look at what Croissant Aubert, he's on his last life, just as Kafka, is bringing. It's an aggressive build. Peasant Bowman. I believe these are 4 questing knights, guys. Ooh. There's always a bit of a gamble here as well, like questing knights weaker against certain targets or certain units, but better against demis, I suppose. And better against Knights of the Blazing Sun. Blazing Sun's very good against, well, somewhat good against Grail Knights because they negate that magic damage. But I usually see people going for Questing Knights, and I think it's simply because they kind of fill the same role, but they're cheaper, and that's basically it. And we have the Companions of Canel here again as well. The Holy Wardens up front, Men-at-Arms up front, 5 units, Peasant Mob. Helping that, very streamlined, straightforward army. But once again, King Luanne, he's gotten better after that battle very quickly. And he's bringing the same stuff as before, actually. Almost a full kit. Shield, of course, also very useful. And the Empire army, guys, is far smaller. They're outnumbered 3-1. Just a line of spearmen here. And only 3 of them have shields, so paper-thin infantry line. We have Demigryph Knights, some with halberds, some without. We also have Karl Franz. And a Jade Wizard with the typical spells, the Earthblood. Regrowth. Now, another important piece of this army is Mr. Warrior Priest here, just with the Soulfire, not going to give too many buffs. Or any buffs, as you would expect. And we have Karl Franz, the Reichland Runefang. Even as Gal Maraz really wants to go beat up Luanne. And the Foe Seeker also hold the line. Now, who do you favor here, chat? Smaller army with the steam tank? Or the bigger Bretonian army? I have my thoughts, but it's not really the job of a caster to go and spoil the battle outcome or spoil what he thinks will be the battle outcome. But so let's just look at the possibilities. So Bretonians, they're under a little bit of pressure. I think Kafka is shooting at the right unit, but look at the steam tank, guys. This is the bad thing about the steam tank. It's already winded. It fired like 2 shots and it's winded. It loses figure so quickly. And somehow it's obstructed, even though it's just trying to shoot into the air. So a good hit on Luanne there. He's not too worried, just brushes off that cannonball like a boss. Demigryph Knights, they're going to come in here. Are they really going to engage on the peasant mobs? Well, Franz is taking some fire. Questing Knights are moving forward. Yeah, the Demigryph Knights actually committing against those peasant mob. I mean, I guess it's not bad to get rid of them, but kind of feels bad seeing such an elite unit having to deal with that. And yeah, it just feels like Bretonnia has more of everything. More cavalry, more archers, more infantry. Also better infantry. The Kafka is stalling that engagement, and I like that choice. If it just goes ham and takes the engagement right now, I think it's an engagement he's very likely to lose, but of course Luanne can chase, he can force that engagement. Luanne against the steam tank, it's not a good engagement for the Empire. So the cavalry is going to come in, and we'll see the main engagement happening here relatively soon. The men-at-arms are coming in, and ooh, this is going to be horrible. Questing Knights charging onto the Demigryph Knights, who are busy dealing with men-at-arms and who are not getting a charge in return. So these guys are going to get slaughtered. Even though the Spearmen are now coming in, but yeah, these guys need a heal yesterday. And the steam tank has been caught by the Companion of Kinnell, who also have Seal of Thorns put on them now. One unit of Demigryphs is completely getting wrecked. And yeah, it seems like everything is just falling apart really quickly for the Empire. Because even if they win the cavalry engagement, they still need to deal with all these archers. There's nothing to really take them out quickly. Should lose the infantry fight pretty quickly as well. Questing Knights are under attack now from Karl Franz. He's trying to stabilize that right flank, but everything else is really just dying. The steam tank is bashing some peasants, but who really cares, right? At some point, it's just going to become impossible to defend it. Those Questing Knights will just mulch it down. Okay, and heal does come in here. Maybe if Karl Franz can stabilize with his Warrior Priest, with his Jade Priest, these two units of demis, and go fight his backline engagement, and force the Questing Knights away from his steam tank. And really what, you know, the Empire wants here is to be able to give free reign to the steam tank. So that it can just move around, attack infantry, shoot whatever cavalry is left, although cavalry will always engage it. Yeah, this is horrible. Steam tank fighting up against those Questing Knights, it's really bad. There's no way to prevent it. Because Bretonnia just has the superior numbers, and is now also winning the cavalry fight. So yeah. Maybe if they can kill Luanne, but killing Luanne is not an easy feat. Although Karl Franz with Karl Moraz is doing a lot of damage here. And it's a bit of a double-edged sword. A double-edged hammer in this case. If Luanne doesn't fully die, if it just takes a bunch of damage, you can see that Beloved Son of Bretonnia buff coming in. So right now the entire army is actually being buffed. And Luanne is going to get away. Just retreating through his own cavalry. And as he gets away, he's still giving that buff to the entire army. The battle is really going into Bretonnia's favor right now. Because the steam tank just didn't pay off, man. It's an idea that people have, you know, told me before, like, oh, we're gonna take a steam tank against Bretonnia, but I don't feel like it's a good idea. I feel like, I mean, of course it's always build dependent. If you know you're gonna face 4 Questing Knights, you probably wouldn't take it. But let's say there's trebuchets or something, yeah, then maybe. So Karl Franz going for Luanne again. And Luanne, he keeps taking a lot of damage, but is he really going to die? I don't think so. Steam tank somehow managed to free itself. Freedom! Karl, if there's any chance for the Empire... Ooh, he actually gets in front of him, that's good. Now the demis are on top of him as well. If there's going to be any chance for the Empire, they have to kill him here and now. Yeah, the archers, man, they're just focusing down Karl. And of course Luanne gets away. So yeah, Empire. Not with the best build here. The Bretonnian build was very good. Against what they had as well. So there we go, Karl is routing. We're just a steam tank against everything right now. And there was always a Questing Knight free to just stop the movement. Engagement on the right flank with the demis where they got charged in the back while they were fighting infantry was also not ideal, but you know, the cavalry for the Empire kind of had to do that because we're going to lose the infantry fight as well. Losing the infantry fight against Plutonians, guys. Not a phrase you hear often. But what can I say? It is a very strong army. A lot of mass. To win that infantry fight even. Archers to pressure everything. Questing knights. It's very difficult for Empire to hold back for questing knights. And then Luanne as well with that mobile piece, so... Yeah, the steam tank. Okay, here we go. Straight into the final. Tulkas against Croissant Aubert. And... man, I have to laugh every time I say that name. So, maps are River Amexon, Storm Demon, Death Pass, Castle Drakenhof, Northern Chaos Waste. Hopefully it goes a full distance like the previous series. Look at this Norscan army. I'm seeing Skin Wolves. They would of course be a target that Grail Knights would be pretty good against, because they have that physical resistance, which is kind of the only protection they have. Their melee defense and armor is pretty low, although we do have some armored ones here as well. There's the Mast of Savagery, guys. Oh my god. Haven't seen these guys in a long time. They used to be one of the most overpowered units in the Norscan roster. They were really insane. But I think these days they're pretty balanced. And we have the Beasts of Tashnar, also anti-large. Kind of like... they always remind me of the Dire Pack. Of course, these guys can run away. We have some Marauder Hunter Javelins. And we have some Marauders up front with the Unbreakable Brutes of the Hound. And a unit that not everyone is a fan of, but I can definitely see its use in this matchup. The Marauder Spearmen, bringing some anti-large into the mix. So he's chosen to go for Skin Wolves rather than Fimir, which is interesting. And we have Trog here, good anti-large, regen. Also has that AoE buff to his own troops. And the Frostbite, so there's no Wolfrider Chariot here. Wolfrider Chariot, of course, more mobile than Trog, but Trog with the Frostbite that his axe induces can still slow things for 36%. The Plutonians setting up in the forest. That is an interesting strategy when you're relying on archers. Maybe they think there's going to be a lot of large units that will be coming their way, but there's no mammoths, there's no Fimir. Bit of an atypical Norscan army, which could turn out to be good actually, when you think about it. The front line of foot squires, men-at-arms, polearms behind them, so lots and lots of armor piercing here. And the combo of peasant bowmen, one of them with pox arrow. So the one pox arrow will slow whatever target it's going for. And yeah, the knights, guys. No Grail Knights, just Knights of the Realm. So Knights of the Realm don't pack as much of a punch as Grail Knights, way less durable, but you can get more of them. You can cover more ground. But I do think that they will lose in a prolonged engagement against Skin Wolves, especially against the armored ones. May the best Plutonian Lord win. Nicely said. Luanne leading the charge as usual. Third time we see him today. Lots of Bretonia, man. I really love it. This matchup is going to depend on the terror. Yeah, there's no Grail Relic to stop that terror. There are some damsels though. One has Curse of the Midnight Wind, and the other one has Earthblood. So two cheap damsels, each with one spell. What's this? What? Okay. I guess it hit a bug or something. Okay, Luanne is scouting. I like that. I haven't really checked what this Shaman Sorcerer has. I like his spells. He has the Fireball, which he's using to shoot Luanne, but it hit the tree. Doesn't set the tree on fire, unfortunately, like it would do in Attila. And yeah, the Flaming Sword of Ruin, I think, is pretty good against Bretonnia. In this army, there are no units that rely on physical resistance. Except Luanne. He has a little bit of physical resistance, as long as his leadership stays up. The Blessing of the Lady. But yeah, there could have been Grail Knights and stuff, so in that case it would have been very nice to have. So yeah, Bretonnia, I do like the way Croissant Aubert plays them. Because he brings pretty beefy and strong infantry lines, which, you know, it's not something you expect to see, and then you can kind of throw your opponent for a loop when he faces more infantry than he was ready to fight. So yeah, they're going into battle here, and this infantry battle should be looking good with foot squires going up against marauders. You can see the damage being done here. It's quite severe. The archers, they're getting into position, they're firing away. Skin wolves are coming in now with all of the cavalry engaged on this flank, and Luanne being over there as well. This could actually turn out to be kind of scary for these peasant bowmen. All the fast units start engaging on them, but it seems they're already cleaning up the main line. I mean, engagements in this game are always very fast, or often very fast, so you know, even on this right flank, it doesn't seem like they're doing too badly. Holy Wardens fighting up against the Brutes of the Hound, which isn't a terrible engagement for Bretonnia. Knights of the Realm, they're getting force-spotted, I think, into these Marauder Hunters. Their javelins will no longer do much. And these Maws of Savagery, man, they're getting wrecked. Oh my god. Luanne is doing it. Yeah, that cavalry engagement going very well there for Bretonnia, thanks to the Sword of Quran, no doubt. But look, the Norskins are striking back. The Beasts of Tashnar, they're coming into the peasant bowmen, who are not being stopped. Now there's two skin wolves. The skin wolves, I think, will try to reinforce this flank, or will they go for the archers instead? Knights of the Realm are now here. Should probably be used to deal with the Beast of Tashnar, save these peasant bowmen. These peasant bowmen, they could really be used to start pressuring this flank, do some good damage on the Brutes of the Hound especially. That is if they survive. Right now, one unit is routing. Foot squires over here, they're chasing off this Marauder Spearmen. And yeah, good micro here. Pulling the peasant bowmen back through the men-at-arms. And the men-at-arms manage to stop these Beasts of Tashnar, who will not also be routed. But look, here come the skin wolves, and they're going for that damsel. Yeah, this Knight of the Realm is so valuable right now, really saving these three archers. You'd be surprised. I mean, depending on how much you've played the game and how well you know Bretonnia, you might be surprised or not about the damage 3 peasant bowmen can do over the course of a battle. It is a lot, especially for the cost. Very nice unit. Definitely not an unbalanced unit though. Balanced by, you know, being very easy to rout. Skin wolves with the Curse of the Midnight Wind on them. Not able to fight up against these men-at-arms or the Knights of the Realm. So they're getting chased off. Also archers have stabilized and are doing a lot of damage. And yeah, Trog so far doesn't look like he's done much. He has 2 kills. How much has he regenerated? I don't know. He's only regenerated very little. So it seems Trog has barely been used in combat at all, or he would have taken more damage. It's kind of strange to see. Of course, it is keeping him healthy and fresh for the late game, but right now, with those archers around, it seems that if Trog commits, he's quickly going to get focused down. Norska did manage to win this flank engagement in the end, but all of their stuff is now getting routed. Units have rallied in the forest here. Not able to present a real threat to this backline, I think. Luanne is taking his time, chasing off the skin wolf, and yeah, Trog is just kind of standing indecisively in the forest, but now decides to get a move on. He's going for it, moving forward. The fireball comes in. I think it's aimed for the damsel. She's healing herself, and she'll benefit from that healing a little more after taking that fireball. And yeah, the Norskins are going to have a tough time here. What can they really do at this stage? I think it's over. I think they can GG out. There's so much infantry left, there's so many archers left. He's kind of just sending in his units piecemeal. Most bizarre thing to me is that Trog was not really present in this engagement on the right flank right here. Huh, somehow my paused icon appeared. Don't need that. To be honest, I think it's much better than tabletop. This game has random elements as well with attack animations, etc. Yeah, there are some random elements. I'd say that in terms of countering the other guy's army, it's way more random. At least in some matchups. But of course, it's not like you're rolling dice to see who wins. I mean, you kinda are. Because melee attack is sort of a dice roll against melee defense. And if you have two units fight against each other, you'll notice that sometimes the one unit comes out on top and sometimes the other one does. But in the end, this mostly evens out. It's really when you go for these lord against lord engagements that it really can play a role, where the one lord suddenly gets 3 hits in a row and the other one doesn't. Then the RNG can really come into play. But of course you can try to avoid that by not engaging like that. So yeah, Croissant the Bear with a very convincing... Yeah, that beefy infantry line. Peasant Bowman doing really well on the Sword of Quran and the Curse of the Midnight Wind being cast in those critical engagements really helped there as well. I do think that Trog was a little bit too passive in that fight. You can see only 2 kills. He actually routed with full hit points. So that's a little bit strange. Knights of the Realm did a good job there as well. And you know, I actually like this army because let's say there's Fimir, let's say there's a Mammoth. You have double lines. And you have these anti-large units that can jump on top of those units if they try to pierce through your main line. Or you can quickly put them in front. It's really if there's a combination of like Berserkers and Fimir that I wonder whether they would really be able to hold. But you know, maybe with the double armor reduction, the archers could do a lot. It's really about keeping them safe. But you do have Luanne and 3 Knights of the Realm for that purpose, so... Solid build, the Croissant. Let's see if we can get a series, or if it will be a 2-0. So far, Croissant seems really strong. I mean, he lost that first game against Kafka, but looked really strong in the other games. Dark Elf game was still really close against Plutonians, but Kafka played that well too. Heavy the Sepulchral Stalker is the Hero Titan. So Spirit Leech, Gem's Burning Cheese, a lot of character sniping potential. Casket of Souls, as expected. And the Sepulchral Stalkers, of course, able to put a lot of damage and stuff with their range shots, which are finally useful. They used to be completely useless. Yeah, we can see the box here beginning to form, it seems. So there's also Skeleton Horseman Archers. Those will be useful. One of the more elite Tomb Guard Halberds. And then, you know, the crappy Tomb King's Infantry. That's just there to buy time and hold stuff back so the real damage dealers can do their job. Who is the Lord, by the way? Is this Arkan? It is Arkan. Fate of Buna, Spirit Leech. And all the items will be able to throw down physical resistance on his units a couple times. I think 4 times in total. And you'll be able to summon some skeletons, which will be very useful in, you know, in the Trish's battle. Oh, but look what we have on the other side. It's the Soul of Damnation. And you normally wouldn't bring this thing, because it could get sniped really easily. By the way, guys, I think this thing is, like, it has to be a Slanesh invention, right? It looks extremely obscene. I'm not even sure if Twitch guidelines allow me to zoom in on it like that. So, the Soul of Damnation, I think, will be really good here. Yeah, there's no real elite infantry, but you know what? There's no Ushabti to easily snipe it either. The Tomb Kings do seem to be forming a sort of defensive position here, and relying on the Casket of Souls, Skeleton Horsemen Archers to force Chaos forward. They might have to come forward themselves. Now if I'm trading Soul of Damnation shots on my skeletons for Casket of Souls shots on these chosen halberds, then I'm totally fine with that, obviously. I do wonder though if the Soul of Damnation will get taken out by the Casket of Souls. Casket of Souls doesn't seem like something that should do a lot of damage to artillery pieces, but it could kill the crew. I had a game like that once. Okay, Marauders moving forward. Trying to not let these Skeleton Horsemen Archers too close. They are actually close enough to get some shots into the Soul of Damnation. I like the Chaos Warhounds here. To attack and distract these guys, and they're fast enough to catch them as well. It's the one weakness of these Skeleton Horsemen Archers. They're pretty slow for their unit type. Only 76 speed. Just like Knights of the Blazing Sun speed. A little bit more. But you see, Soul of Damnation is shooting Casket of Souls, and Casket of Souls is shooting Soul of Damnation. I think in a situation like this, guys, what you want to do is target the enemy infantry, because it's not like you're going to take out the enemy artillery quickly or efficiently, and it puts more pressure on the other guy if he's losing infantry to it while he's just shooting your artillery piece and not killing it. But it seems like Chaos does feel like they're losing this engagement somehow. Chaos Sorcerer took a Spirit Leech there. He has the Fireball. Fireball actually could be really good here, dealing with this Casket of Souls. But it doesn't look like he's gotten a Fireball in there. So yeah, Soul of Damnation is able to hit this Casket of Souls. But I'm not sure, like, if it's really worth it. He still has 30 shots though. And I guess shooting skeletons is not really useful or valuable. Really the target for me would be these Tomb Guard. But I guess if you start shooting the Tomb Guard, it's very easy for the Tomb King to say, you know what, I'll just put them over here. Then you have to come up way closer. Okay, another Spirit Leech. Man, they're really going hard with those Spirit Leeches. There are upgraded Spirit Leeches though. In this case, I think it's an okay choice to do that, because if you kill this guy with Spirit Leech, yeah, it will take some damage. It'll take some, well, possibly damage if you're overcasting. So far it hasn't happened. But it will take some extra magic, but it's basically all the Chaos magic gone. This guy doesn't have that much hit points, so... Now, the Chaos Warhounds, they actually got killed here by the Skeleton Horsemen. That shouldn't really have happened. The Dragon Ogre is chasing them. As well, someone has to do it. Yeah, this Chosen is tanking some shots from the Casket of Souls, which is still shooting at that Hell Cannon, or actually it was shooting at the Chaos Halberds before. Okay, now Skeleton Horsemen, they're jumping in on this Soul of Damnation, but these dwarves, they are unbreakable and they are pretty tough. They're going to be able to re-rally here pretty soon. Yep, already grabbing that cannon again. Shot by Tulkas. And his Marauders, they are engaging the Skeleton Warriors. And the Skeleton Warriors aren't even charging. Normally you always want to charge your units, but I guess if you only have a charge bonus of 5 and 3, you're not really too fussed about that. And another Spirit Leech, man. What spell is coming down here? It's a Burning Head, but the Burning Head doesn't do much against units like this. Tulkas apparently did not know that, because it was a very deliberate cast there. Yeah, you can see that. Against relatively high armor, low model units like this, doesn't do much. Fireball is definitely the way to go here. Ooh, that was a nice fireball. Hitting Arkan, and then the Necrotech after that. That was great. And I think that was intentional. Like from the way he positioned himself. I think that was intentional, guys. Yeah, that's almost all she wrote for that Chaos Sorcerer. Another Spirit Leech and he's gone. And Sigvald is here. He'll be able to put some good damage on this Hero Titan, I think. Despite not having, you know, traditional armor piercing, but these Chosen Halberds, they've taken so much damage. And Chaos really needs to make something happen here. The problem is, when you face something like this, it's not really a box, but it's a defensive formation. The Sepulchral Stalkers. Either you have to commit straight into it, which is dangerous, and then you're fighting those anti-large units without infantry support, or you fight on the edges of their army, and then they're just shooting you. So that's really the strength of Sepulchral Stalkers right now. And I expect they will be nerfed again. But so far they haven't been nerfed, and yeah, that Soul of Damnation, I think it has 0 kills. Well, it has 2 kills, but it's really just shooting at that Casket of Souls. It's not killing the Casket of Souls, I mean it's slowly killing it, but it's almost out of ammo, it's done its job, it's killed the Chosen Halberds. So, not the best choice, I think. And look at how quickly the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth went down. On his own. Oh man, I've never seen a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth die this quickly. On his own. Isolated against Archon, Sepulchral Stalkers, and the Hero Titan. This Chaos Shaggoth is going down. Even the infantry doesn't seem able to break through. Horsemen came into the back here. Ushabti are coming into the back here of these Chaos Warriors. Somehow Spearmen have managed to envelop these Chaos Marauders, so they're going to rout pretty soon here. Yeah, the Soul of Damnation is still firing at the Casket of Souls, but right now the Casket of Souls isn't even that important anymore. Sepulchral Stalkers pretty much untouched. Some shots are being poured into Sigvald. Archon is actually fighting him, that's probably not a fight Archon wants. Right, assholes. Yeah, I don't want to steal the idea from him. A move. And there's the Chem's Burning Gaze. Going to hit that Dragon Ogre Shaggoth a little bit, not much. Still strong infantry presence. Chaos on this flank. We now have the Fate of Buna on Chaos Warriors. I mean, I guess it's one of the few healthy units still on the field. Aspiring Champions, amazing at keeping leadership up, but not close enough to any units to give them leadership. They all died. Sigvald is doing what he can to hunt down Ark in the Black. Ah, and finally the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth kills the Casket of Souls. It's like those kill stealers, you know. Soul of Damnation spends all battle shooting that thing, and then when it is close to finally killing it, the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth comes in and gets the last hit, like a Blade Master on a creep, Warcraft 3, and he steals all the glory and experience. But there's not going to be that much glory here for Chaos, I'm afraid, because oh look, an Infernal drop there. They just don't have what it takes to punch through here anymore. The infantry is routing. Even Chosen getting terrified now. Tells you how bad the situation is. And yeah, the important targets are still standing. He got a lot of damage on Archon, and maybe we'll be able to get him actually with the Chaos Shaggoth going after him. Ooh, Archon. This be the comeback? Killing Archon? Well, the first attack missed. And help is on the way. And a skeleton got summoned. Some of them even flew into your screen. Hope they didn't burst through your monitor. So, yeah. That was a nice opportunity to maybe kill Archon and get a bit of a comeback going. But it doesn't look like Archon is dying here. Rasan using Skeleton Horseman Archers really well here. There we go, another shot into the Sepulchral Stalkers. Actually doing a surprising amount of damage, but you know, these guys weren't visible before. But it's not like you could easily target them. Because they do have stock. And they have a lot of perks, a lot of good things going for them. Another good hit on the Sepulchral Stalkers. So yeah, in a battle where it looks like the Soul of Damnation. Oh, that shot missed on Arkan. It was almost a desperation play there. So in a battle where the Soul of Damnation manages to spend all of its ammo, Chaos is still going to lose. And this Tomb Guard with halberds is alive and has 31 kills. I know killing skeletons is bad, or maybe not ideal, but when you think about it, even that would have been better than shooting at that Casket of Souls all the time. I think that's really the decision that contributed to Tulkas losing this battle. And he kept doing it as well, like... Well, I started targeting it, so I'd better finish it off, right? But the Soul of Damnation, we're gonna see the kills here in a moment when we go to the screen. It did a lot. And it especially killed those Chosen, who were a critical unit.
We don't forgive!
She really needed against the Hero Titan and the Stalkers. One last hurrah for the Chaos Warriors. Charge into these Tomb Guards. They're like, yeah, our cannon may have spared you, but we definitely won't. No, actually, it looks like I want to fight the Spellcrow Stalkers. Okay. Oh man, even as a Chaos Warrior, I think you'd be pretty scared charging into these things. Yep, they're actually getting terrified by the presence of this Hero Titan. But look guys, the dwarves are coming. Like that scene in The Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies, where all the dwarves suddenly come over the hill. But we're not going to see how they would have mercilessly crushed all the Tomb Kings that remained. Chaos Hell Cannon crew there. Yeah, I think infantry did pretty much what you expected. Even the Chosen. The loss of the Warhounds pretty early on. The Skeleton Horsemen was a bit painful, because they died pretty much for free. Jagot couldn't find a good way to engage. Spirit Leech just really focused down that Chaos Sorcerer. Maybe he should have stayed at range and used more fireballs, because I think if you use enough fireballs, you can actually kill that Casket of Souls. And then suddenly the Tomb Kings have to come to you. Which will save you a bit of figure and especially save you from walking into that withering Casket of Souls fire. Don't get confused by the low kill count, guys. It dealt a lot of hit point damage to units. And those were kills mostly on Chosen, so it was really good. So Aspiring Champions did very well here. So yeah, that's the 2-0. For Santo Bear's match points. Tulkas has to win 3 battles in a row. Make this happen now. Right, here we go, guys. Exciting matchup. It is the Eye of Morsliep. You guys might remember the game where the Eye of Morsliep completely annihilated some Chosen, which I played a while ago. So I like the pick. Net is very useful. What's that other ability? Yeah, this is the net ability it has. Actually Soul Eater. Completely forgot that this thing has that. I guess it's a little bit of a perk. Increased miscast chance. It's not really a big deal though. Because you need to overcast to have any miscast chance in the first place. Apart from that, you have Blackhorn's Ravagers. Solid Infantry. Regular Goreherd. Some Goreherd with shields. Ungoreherd. All the Gores. Nice mix of troops. Yeah, Centaur's Throwing Axes. Going to be very useful here. Minotaur's Great Weapons. We'll find some useful targets in this game. Or some good targets in this game, for sure. And the Chaos Warhounds with Poison. Yep, they could counter those Marauder Horsemen over there. And here, Butchers of Kalkengard, the Murder Cows, as I call them. Regeneration, lots and lots of damage. Silver Shields. Very strong unit. Now, more importantly, who's the Lord? This Malagor? Nope, it's Morgr. He's bringing both of his summons. No Foe Seeker though. Great Shaman of Beasts. Yes, just a transformation of Kadan, no other spells. So Tulkas here will not be able to use all of his Winds of Magic. Because it's pretty easy to get both Manticore summons out. And if you have gotten both Manticore summons out, you have no more spell that you can use past that point. So it's probably a good idea to bring like Flock of Doom, or another of the cheap spells, but probably Flock of Doom, to have some magic left. But he didn't go for that. It's a bold strategy. Let's see how it plays out, Cotton. So Chaos looks very aggressive here with their deployment. Probably aware that there might be Cygor, especially on this map. With Bash Bros here. Go like Sun Eater and his wife. The Dragon Ogre Shagot. Massive anti-large, also pretty good at smashing infantry. One Chaos Chariot. Mirror Guard, Chaos Marauders. Warriors behind them. All of these Marauder Horsemen that you see here. Instantly going for those Centigores. Centigores, they're outranged by them and can't really just trade shots. So yeah, what's the path to victory here for the Beastmen? Well, it's not losing their Centigores to Javelins, so they have to run. It seems just going into melee. No, it's just the terrain kind of messing with them. Yeah, trading some shots here. Warhounds will come in on those horsemen. That's a pretty good engagement, but there's other Warhounds here to counter that. Warhounds will probably be lost in the process. And yeah, that engagement is probably going Chaos's way. Now, Mr. Chaos Sorcerer of Fire is looking for the Burning Head opportunity here. He's not going to get it, because these lines are very well spread. This isolates the units a little bit more, but also makes it a little easier for them to avoid those damaging AoE effects. But he's still going for a Burning Head on the score herd. The Burning Head also burning his Chaos Marauders, but I guess it's still okay because this is a more expensive unit and it just instantly shatters. Yeah, so much for avoiding that Burning Head. Summoned Federal Manticore, it's hitting the Chaos Sorcerer. And on this side, man, Beastmen are just going full ham. Think, okay, we're better in melee, they're better at range, let's just charge them and get rid of them. And so far it seems to be working, but there's still 3 fighting units here. Look how quickly they're killing them. Oh my god. Yeah, Tulkas actually winning this flank battle, and he also has the Warhounds coming in on the back here, but his Minotaurs, they went in there and they're fighting on top of infantry without their own infantry supporting against Dragon Ogre Shagots, and even the Butchers of Kalkengard are getting beaten up here by Kolek and his wife. As you can see, just like Demigryphs and other similar units, they have some trouble getting into attack range, so you don't really get the full damage of the unit against single entities. Quite a few of them are getting knocked away as well. It seems the Beastmen, they're sort of winning this flank, but they're quite heavily losing the main line. Aligor or Morgur is here though, should still have a summon. And the Chaos Sorcerer got routed. Eye of Morsliab still throwing away. Blackhorn's Ravagers are coming in. How many kills is this thing up to? 34. Now the Chariot seems to be heading towards it. The Ungor Herd, they're going to stop it. Seem to drop orders there. This Eye of Morsliab. Oh, look. Chaos Spawn were summoned. Always gotta watch for that, because this was the automatic Chaos Spawn, I'm pretty sure. Here comes the other one. So 2 Chaos Spawn. This is the strongest the Beastmen are going to be for a long time in this battle. Have to commit these Chaos Spawn into battle really quickly. Get rid of these Chaos Forces. Be able to do good damage on the Mirror Guard. And then, you know, maybe even get some good damage on Kolek. I see his health dropping a little bit. Takes a big rock to the face there. Eye of Morsliab, of course. Very accurate unit. And here come the Centigores, guys. Chaos might lose this because Centigores, they're free to throw at Kolek, who's currently being attacked by the Chaos Spawn, and that means he's being poisoned as well. And imagine if he could just net Kolek here and get some good axe throws on him. Doesn't seem to be happening. Croissant doing very well to micro Kolek away. Oh, this Eye of Morslave is sort of exposed, but it's gonna smash these chariots. He won't do as well as Kolek's wife here though. But the Chaos Axe Throwers, they really have to, or the Beastmen Axe Throwers, they really have to get to work. Currently dealing with these Chaos Warriors, that's pretty nice. Of course, the real prize here is Kolek, and yeah, these Chaos Spawn, man. They're not to be underestimated. I don't think they will survive much longer. Oh, they're actually starting to fall apart, but yeah, those Spawn did a lot. Certainly did a lot. Now, where is that Bray Shaman? I think he must have gotten stomped or something. Chaos Sorcerer is coming back, and yeah, the Bray Shaman is nowhere to be seen. There's still a lot of throwing axes, and nothing to really threaten the throwing axes, unless they get caught. The Chaos Warriors. Now the Marauder Horsemen are back. Oh no, and War Rounds are back as well. This critical unit, guys, this unit that he really needed to kill Kolek, is now caught in melee. Probably dying. Kolek is coming in on the Eye of Morslave. He is much stronger than the Eye of Morslave. You can easily tell by the weapon damage. Eye of Morslave still has more health, and if it gets a couple good hits in here, Kolek might rout, and that's a good hit. Yeah, smash him with that boulder. Kolek knows it, he's getting out of there. But chasing him is not going to achieve much. Basically going to take free damage for the most part, but where are the nets? Where are those freaking nets, man? Eye of Morslave gets another hit. Will it be the savior? Or the Beastman? Kolek is routing. Burning Head going into the Centigores. Okay, that's good damage. I mean, it's as good as you could expect at this point in the battle, really. Morger still has a lot of regen. Kolek will be back though. I don't think he's going to rout off the field. There's nothing to really chase him. Yep, he's already rallied. These Centigores could go and try to finish him off. He actually broke again as he was standing there. That's interesting. Yeah, I think it's too little too late, guys. Fireball comes in. Damn, it was aimed at the Eye of Morslave, and Morger is good at tanking infantry like this, but the hits from the Dragon Ogre Shagat come in, and it's gonna be the 3-0. We have a champion. Croissant Aubert. A pretty tough time against Kafka. This last battle definitely wasn't easy either. But all in all, very convincing performance by him. Winning the Forge of Noobhammer Cup. So, congratulations. I sent this battle to a Rubber Duck of War. I'm not sure if he's going to put it on his channel, but I think it's pretty good. So we were obviously up against someone, I think, new here. I think all of his unit choices are pretty good. The Kolek choice is pretty good, but he's not playing with magic, guys. But yeah, we're just gonna look at the eye, because the eye was insane. The eye was freaking insane. Oh. So yeah, we're just gonna look at the eye, guys. After that, I'm going to go outside a bit, enjoy the sun a bit, maybe stream again tonight, who knows. Yeah, this Eye of Morslave. Just enjoy how beautiful and awesome this unit is. And the real insane throws will happen later on, but so far, okay, that was a miss, but it's been managing to hit those horsemen. That was pretty good. You know, one thing I do wish is that units like this, yeah, that's another good hit, wouldn't get tired so quickly. If you look back, Kafka, if you're still there, to your game against Bretonia, it was actually really ridiculous. Your steam tank fired two shots, and it was winded. Now, you know, units lose armor when they get tired. So one of the best things about the steam tank, the fact that it has so much armor, is really mitigated by the fact that it gets exhausted so quickly. And I thought this had sort of been fixed, but it's really not been fixed. How quickly it loses figure is completely ridiculous. So yeah, this eye, man, it's up to 29 kills and the battle hasn't even properly started yet. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit though. That was a big hit on the Chosen, look at it. Another big hit. Yep, another big hit. Of course, Chosen are like the ideal target for this thing, but it was still pretty insane in this battle. It missed a shot there though. You're about to see like the best Cygor throw you've ever seen. Okay, that was another miss. I think it's kind of the terrain. When they're higher up and they're coming down, he kind of overshoots. Not for much longer, look at this. Look at this, chat. Bam! All their health gone. That was so insane. If you guys saw that live, I really burst out laughing. And he's gonna throw at the other Chosen. I just destroy that unit as well. I know this is a very idealized situation. They kind of resented their flank against the Cygor. But it was still freaking funny, man. Yeah, stacking up units, not very good. Yeah, this Eye of Morsley, if you just watch how much it did this entire battle, it's really a good unit. In that last battle we also saw that it was able to hit those Shagots. Deal pretty decent damage to them. Even been able to use it against Lizardmen to hit stuff like solar engines and stuff as well. You probably won't hit every shot, but he's still better against single entity units than you would expect. And definitely way better than, you know, regular Cygors, which would never get a hit. GG to everyone, and congrats to Croissant Bear for bringing home the win. Yes, thanks for letting me cast Noobforlife. This was a lot of fun. And good job organizing such a tournament, because I've done stuff like this as well, and sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. But it's very difficult, I think, to organize a tournament that's like constantly going on, because you could be getting messages from players at any point in time, really. And yeah, I guess we also gotta give props to the players for making things work as well as they did. Sometimes with these long play tournaments, it really... I mean, that's my experience with most of them, whether I organized them or played them. And it's very difficult to get people to self-organize. Thanks, Noobforlife. I still think I'm a caster first and commentator next, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Wait, what did I say? Caster first? No. Player first, caster second. And there we go. Yeah, these Chosen got some kills, but the other ones, man, they just got crushed by the Eye of Morsley. Very cool battle there. Exactly. So, see you guys again soon.